There's Uncle Larry. It's another day and we're on the mountain working, and it's actually nice out.
Feels good.
And that's good because today we're going to start installing the standing seam metal roof with Uncle Larry and Justin. And today's video is actually brought to you by Georgia Metals. They're going to be here in a minute with their huge truck. This is a really interesting process. It's not at all like putting on a regular metal roof. So stay tuned. You're really going to enjoy this one. You ready, Larry?
Mm-hmm.
You were born ready for this.
No, good.
All right, Jeremy Patat's here,
Hey.
and we're going to go ahead and do the most important part of the day is let's pick our hat color.
Well, I like this one.
You actually got to just pick one of them.
No, I was going to wear them all.
So Jeremy's from Georgia, which is the Flatlands. So we're going to show you the view, show you the house, and a little bit more about Georgia Metals is that they're a really great company because they care about people. I think that's what makes a great company, actually. They actually put a free roof on a veteran's house that's in need every year, and I think that's pretty awesome. So appreciate that.
Man, it's our pleasure.
So here's our roof. And it doesn't look like a roof right now, but it's going to be a roof shortly, thanks to this whole trailer, which is a machine that basically takes those coils and turns it into metal roof panels right here on the job site. Here's a look at the guts, or the internals, if you will. And it's a system of rollers that basically takes the coil, turns it into a panel with ribs or whatever they want on it. These can be adjusted, and bang, we got a roof.
Yes, sir.
Pretty sweet.
Same engine that powers the Porsche.
Why does it sound like a Harley then? There it is, they're done. Each panel is actually specifically made for a spot on the roof.
Hey, look, we got flashing. I'm excited.
This was your baby. You measured all this stuff so it would be pre-bent. Remember
Yeah,
that?
so
and then told me about it.
I remember all of it. Well, let's talk about the components we have here.
All right.
So we got a 6-inch by 6-inch ridge here.
Okay.
It's going to hook on the Z-bar. We have our rake end molding. That's going to cover the edge and go down the side of the fascia. We've got a couple piles of each of those, actually. Right here we have our valley, which they call a pan, a valley pan. And there's a special Z-bar kind of that goes with that. I'm going to show you right here. It's called a valley lock, I'm pretty sure. And the bottom of the metal will actually hook on this. That's a very
Now,
important.
what's the Z flash?
The Z-bar.
The Z-bar.
This is it right here. This will get cut into pieces. That'll be the width of each panel. And this is the piece that is actually going to be screwed down that will allow us to have a hidden fastener system when the ridge cap slides over both of these, and it will cover the fasteners and it'll help attach everything together. That's what that's for.
Nice.
I got to say something, Larry.
Okay.
Now, this doesn't happen very often, but basically I work for you right now. Like,
You're our boss today. He's been waiting to hear that for years.
at least for the rest of the day, and we'll be specific about what time of day it is. I work for you, so teach me, oh wise one of God.
Justin is pre-cut Z-bar construction here, cutting all these pieces to the right length. And you're pretty fat. Are you measuring these or what?
I pre-measured it.
Oh, you pre-measured them. I thought you were just like randomly snipping. So Justin's actually a relative of ours. What was the relation again?
Well, see, it's my wife's daddy's brother's first wife's daughter's husband.
Okay. This is our rake molding here, and Uncle Larry says we're gonna actually pop a few holes right in the groove of that every so often to actually fasten this to the fascia so it doesn't like buckle it right where you put the screw. You okay with telling the trade secrets, Larry?
Oh, give them all away.
People will watch this. People need to know.
Don't
Tell them I'm going to tell them everything now. You got to keep a few things in the back pocket.
I'm up on the roof because it's finally time to do something on the roof. I'm with Justin. We're gonna pull a 6, 8, 10 triangle, which we know will have a 90-degree corner. We want to make sure the metal is pulling perfectly 90 degrees off of this drip edge up the roof. With the standing seam, that's important, and that's why we're gonna do this right triangle to make sure it is. All right, you wanna throw me that marker? Oh my gosh. Oh, got it.
Got it.
Okay, you good?
8 feet.
And I need to be right out on this edge here.
Pretty close.
Yep.
Right at the top.
8 feet, right there.
Perfect.
Got it.
This should measure 10 feet.
Yep, I'm right on the edge there. Let's see what we got.
Which side of the tape are you on? This side?
I'm on the uphill side.
side?
Uphill side.
That's spot on right there.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
I wonder who framed this house.
Oh, them Perkins boys.
Connor's gonna give us a rundown on this panel real quick here. Tell us about it.
Well, this is your serrated panel.
Okay.
Put these grooves in there to keep it from wool canning.
All right, these little lines will keep the metal from getting crinkly in the sun, right? Okay, and then what about these grooves here?
Well, you get these are for your screws,
Okay.
and then you get this lip right here. It's got a little edge on it. You catch it. And on this side of the panel, you got your hook.
Okay, so it's got a hook that will hook itself to the next panel on this little part. Screws go there, so you don't need clips.
Yep. And you just mash it down, snap it in.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Thank you.
Okay, so the tape's right at the peak of the house. As you can see, this bullnose drip edge here has about 1 inch to 1.5 inch lip. So when we measure, it says 197, but in actuality, the pieces are cut to about 198 or 199 so that we can hem the bottom edge.
All right, if you don't know what hemming an edge means, it means the bottom of this metal is actually gonna wrap around the bottom of this drip edge and hook on it. That's hemming. Hey, what kind of paint is this on this metal?
This is Connor.
Okay, tell us about that, because that's kind of interesting, because this metal is gonna be in the sun getting cooked. The paint job's important, very important.
So Connor paint is the most popular paint in the commercial industry. They put it on sky rises in Atlanta.
Okay.
What's the big city around here?
There is none.
Silva.
Yeah, none.
You know, any sky rise you see is going to have Connor paint systems. The warranty in the Connor system includes the replacement cost of install.
Okay.
So rather than just replacing panels, if it ever fails,
Yeah, and
they'll
the
actually
install
pay
can be
for the install.
expensive.
Right.
So it has good paint.
Great paint.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the Connor paint we want to
That's the
have.
Connor paint you want to put on there.
What I really want to know is what Connor hair product are you using into your hair? That stuff is sticking
Yeah.
straight
I
up.
hope there's a 40-year warranty on it.
Yeah. Your warranty's about up, bub.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to have this go to the homeowner. It has a date on it and the coil number, so that if the paint does have an issue, we've got the record, right?
That's right.
That's awesome. Thank you. Here's the screws we're going to use through those slots. They're galvanized, they're pan head. And so I'm going to get up here. I'm going to be the screw guy. Justin's going to be the handing it up and crimping it around the bottom guy, and also telling me what to do guy, right?
I have no idea what we're doing, man.
What? I don't know what we're doing. I'm not a roofer.
Well, it makes two
I
of
thought you were a roofer. Here's a look at this screw installed. We're going to go about every 1 foot. We're going to put it in the center of this slot so this metal roof can expand and contract, because that's what it does when it gets hot and cold. The metal will actually shrink and expand a little bit, and that lets it just slide here. That's why this is better than the type where you just drill and put a screw through the face of the metal. What we've got here is a little cutoff of the rake edge trim. It goes like that. And so that we put the Z-bar that will actually hook onto this and hold it in the right place, we're going to mark where that edge is up the roof. So, okay. First piece has a lot of steps before we put this Z-bar right there. We got to run this butyl tape underneath of it so that when we put screws in, it'll actually seal. Ooh, that's like almost like chewed.
Silly putty,
it's
man.
like chewed chewing gum.
Yeah, there you go.
So, oh, you're giving that to me. I got to do some work.
Take it to the top.
Okay.
Do that.
Okay. Tight to the edge. Yep, I'm good. Hey, what's it like to be a roofer in July?
Well, it's not very fun. Makes you want to make sure you're right with the good Lord, because hell's going to be really hot.
Okay, we've got the panel, we've got the Z-bar on the butyl tape. Next is our rake molding. It'll snap into that and it'll go over the edge like that, hiding all of those fasteners. We'll snap it in. Yep, roll it over. Yeah, we got the big hammer.
Eric and Justin are on the roof. Larry's cutting the little end and folding the hem up under the bottom. And I'm doing a very important job. It's called gopher. You know, like the little fuzzy ground animal. Gopher. That means everything that they need, I go get it. They need a cup of coffee, I go get it. They need a drill, I get it. Rubber mallet, got that.
This looks like a miniature sword, but it's a pop rivet, and that's going to hold these pieces together, the Z-bar and this piece of edge flashing. This metal we're using is 24 gauge metal, which is the thicker type. You could use 26 gauge metal, which is actually thinner. And so this is going to be the Cadillac of roofs. Running up for the time lapse like a billy goat. Yeah. So these are hidden fasteners, as I mentioned before. Most of the metal roofs you see in this area are what they call ag panel, and they just overlap, and the fasteners have a gasket on them, and they just go through the face of it, which isn't nearly as good because those gaskets do need to be replaced about every 10 or 15 years. And it'll have a tendency to actually work the fasteners out of the roof because of the force of the expansion and contraction, and not having a slot, like just drilling a single hole for those screws. It just doesn't work as good. If you missed it, in a previous video, we put on this Grace ice and water shield, and it's self-adhesive and it seals really well around things like screws. So basically this is way better than a regular roofing underlayment, and it'll keep any water, not that this will ever leak, but if somehow it did, water couldn't get in around these screws because this seals around penetrations really well. It's 4 something o'clock, but we've got about 3 panels to go to get to that pipe. And I think that's what we'll call it, because that's going to be important to get right, you know? If you have a house where the water doesn't want to drain out of the sinks and the toilet never flushes right, look up on your roof. If this thing is still on your vent pipe, your water won't drain, because that's like putting your finger on top of a straw, and the air pressure can't push the water down. I've actually been on a lot of roofs that had plumbing problems where that never got taken off the roof. Finishing touch on these hems here, I've got this crimper tool. Basically, I'll get it on there starting in the middle, and I'm gonna try to do it one-handed, but get a nice tight crimp on this, work it to the sides. Yep, and basically you'll end up with that in the end, which is a lot better than that, and that'll seal it off. That is a super nice roof. Justin, always a pleasure.
You too, man.
Till next time.
We'll see you.
We're gonna weight this stuff down. So it's supposed to storm tomorrow. We don't want it up the mountain when we show up again. Oh, that's mine. Thank you. Larry, nice work. It's been a fantastic day on the mountain, weather-wise, and the amount of work we got done. For the amount of time we spent doing it was awesome. We only really set panels for 2 hours maybe, and got probably 3/4 of that whole face done. Thanks again to Georgia Metals. We can't thank you enough for partnering with us on this job, helping us out with the material. So if you live in any of the 5 states near Georgia, and you're a roofer or you're a homeowner, help us out by supporting Georgia Metals. I'll put a link in the description to their website and their phone number, stuff like that. Thanks for building with us, and we'll see you on the next one.